Well, as you can see, we have lots of things for our Hunkydory webisode today. We're going to start with the little square books. There are 3 of them. You can see spectacular scenery, beautiful butterfly blooms, and also brilliant birds. And then we have these apertures. Now that means that these are the front of the cards. There are 24 in gold, just like this, lots of colors, and 24 in silver. So lots of things to pair together. In fact, this is one of the cards that Heidi has done that I'll be sharing with you. Won't you please come play with us? Now, as I go into each of the little books, I'll show you all of the images rather than going through all of them right here. And we're going to start with the spectacular scenery. So let me scoot these over and just let you see her first card. And here it is. Let's see, got something tucked in there. Okay, now this card is a square card. In fact, let me just show you because it is black. And so she did make it out of the black cardstock. And just in case you didn't know that we do have black cardstock separately, and this comes with 10 sheets. They're 8.5 by 11, so that's just a nice thing to remember. So this card being 5 by 5, so you're going to take this and cut a piece that's 5 inches by 10 inches, score it in the middle, and of course to do that scoring, Heidi loves to use the adorable scoreboard. So just place it here, go to the 5-inch mark, and then score it, and that will take care of you. Now, what she is using is, as I said, the spectacular scenery. And let me show you the images that are in that and the one that she has used. So this is the one that she's using. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside. And then here are the others. Now, these are single-sided. And there you go. You can just see that. So the scenery is just all over the place. You saw that there's oceans, there's lakes, there's also just beautiful scenery. You can see the countryside, there's desert, just lots and lots of variety, and that's what makes it great. Now there are 120 sheets in every single little square book, and you get 6 each of the designs. So that just gives you the ability to do some of the techniques that Heidi has done today. So there you go, all of those. All right, now let me show you how to do this. So we've already talked about cutting the card, and let me just show you this card. I think you can see that these are raised pieces, and they're all, I guess they go smaller or they go larger, however you think about it. And to create that, what Heidi used is, of course, cutting dies. And these are our square cutting dies. And that's just going to make it easy. Now, she just used the ones that have straight lines, not the scallops for this technique. But because there are so many, that works very nicely. So what she did to begin with is she took the piece out of the book, and she is using the light blue, and this is the silver aperture. And she didn't use the circle one, she used this one. So you're just going to pop this out, that will give you the frame. And you're going to attach this to the empty area. You're going to attach it to the back of that. And you can see that's going to it'll be held in place very nicely. So once that's done, you can go ahead and attach that to your front of your card, and it will leave a little bit of foiling on the edge that will from the aperture. So that just works nicely. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more sheets that Heidi has selected, and then you start die cutting them. Now you want to start from the center of the image, so make sure that you're always right there. And then you simply put each of the pieces with foam tape and layer them. And this is called a pyramid type of style. So that works nicely. Now you can tell the difference between this one and this one. And the difference is, of course, dazzles. And the dazzles that she's used are the silver border dazzles. And then she also, in the corners, you can see she's used the matching silver jewel dazzles, which are the circles. Now that little high in there, which I think is just really cute, comes from a set of dazzles that's called the Set of Tiny Words and Phrases. Now this comes in black, white, gold, and silver, and there are 310 pieces in this package, and silver, of course, is one of them. Now on the inside of her card, oh, I guess one other thing I want to point out is that how she laid those border dazzles. You can see that they crisscross in the corners, and that just is an added decorative piece, and I think that's a nice thing to pay attention to. Then going to the inside, there is another of the pieces, and right here is where she has used the inside of this to die cut another square using the using the cutting dies. And the Make-A-Wish is also part of the Tiny Words and Phrases. And you can see that she's used the border dazzles along the edges of that piece inside. So it just all comes together quite nicely. And you also, now because this card is 5 by 5, you might be wondering, okay, what can I do to send it? Well, we do have these 6.5-inch envelopes, and they come in a package of 10. It's going to be a generous size for the card, but that's going to do a nice job for it. So I just want to make sure that we're not leaving you hanging, okay? So that works nicely. Okay, on to our next card, and that is the butterfly card that I showed you in the very beginning. And this is, of course, using an aperture. Now, in this case, Heidi has chosen to take a 5 by 6.5-inch card and trim it down to be the 5 inches square. So that works very nicely. And she's done a couple of things. Can you see how the edge is yellow? Well, because the card is white, she inked the edge. Now this is Warm Honey, and it's kind of hard to read because it's got white text on yellow background, but it's Warm Honey, and she simply just edged the card with that ink pad just to give a little bit more yellow. Now this, as I said, is out of the Butterfly Bloom, so let's take a look into what those images look like. Again, there are 20 of them. So let's get going. So we've got, again, they're single-sided. So we've got that and that and that. So it's got butterflies and flowers. So that's why it's called Butterfly Blooms. And just so many colors. That's really, really nice. And so they're just all over. So any color combination or any butterfly that is your favorite, I will pretty much guarantee it's sitting right here. On the pansies, on the daisies. Okay, whoops, roses and daffodils. So now, let me show you what she used, and you can probably tell it's this one. And we've got the sunflowers with that beautiful butterfly. Now, she's done a couple of different things. To begin with, she took this piece and glued it to the front of her card, so it's flat. She also has this going on, this little raised element. I'll talk about that in just a second, but first let's get everything set on the card. And what she did, as I said, you're going to glue this. Now, on the apertures, as you noticed in the first card, there's this piece, this shape, and there's also a circle. So in this card, you can see that Heidi has used the circle. And what she did is to pop that out and pop out the center of it. And she took several layers. Remember, you're going to get 6 of them. So the first one goes down flat. Then the next one, she cut out around the flower. She just also did the butterfly, but what you're really going to see is the flower because she's going to build more of the butterflies, okay? So that gets foam taped. I always say it's just over the matching art, so that's all you're going to do is just position it so it's right over that first layer. Then this layer is going to be done, but it's not going to be attached yet, okay? So we're going to have to do this piece, and then you can see that this butterfly extends over that aperture, okay? So go ahead and pop the center out, pop the square out, And then you're going to go back to your adorable scoreable, and this has been just scored on each side in the center area. And then when she attached it, she attached the top and the bottom, but left this poking up. Now, the reason that the poking up is a good idea is because this is going to be on top, as you can see. Now, when you put this in an envelope, you might want to, this might be something to hand deliver or put in with a box, because you kind of don't want those to go pushed down, and they will probably get pushed down going through the mail system. Okay, so again, you're just attaching at the top and at the bottom. And then we're going to do our third butterfly, and it's just the butterfly. Okay, so it's just the butterfly. And then the body is going to get attached, and the wings are going to be loose. You can see how they're going to just flutter. Isn't that kind of neat? It's just going to flutter on top of the aperture. Okay, so that's how she has done it. And the word sending smiles, well, that comes coincidentally from our package of sending smiles. And this is just sending smiles all over, several different sizes. There's also little flowers and hearts in there. And you can see that she's got the sending up there with 2 hearts, and then smiles down here with one of the little flowers. Just a very striking cover. Now on the inside, okay, there is a different sheet. Excuse me. There we go. As you can see. Now, this was just used by itself, so you've got all those other pieces, but she did mat it on gold. Now, we do have metallic gold cardstock, but we also have metallic gold paper like this. So this is available. You'll see it in the list of materials. And so this was matted on the metallic gold paper. You can see it's about 1/4 of an inch on the borders, simply glued into the front of her, or into the back of her card. And then the best wishes, and I think the brown works so nicely, comes from our brown script greetings. And there are 3 different sheets in this package, and you're going to get a lot of greetings. Again, there are hearts and other icons to go with it. And so that is this card. So beautifully done. Okay, now we're going to get into our brilliant birds. Now the brilliant birds, whoops, come on camera, pay attention. Okay, there we go. Now the brilliant birds, same deal, always 120 sheets, always 20 different images. So let me just go through them for you. So so you can see just a variety of colors, of course, obviously with birds as well as flowers and scenes. There are just a lot of options. And these are also single-sided. Aren't they sweet? Okay. And different painting styles too. So that's kind of fun to see. Our eagle and hummingbird and swan. Okay, but what she has used here, now I've got 2 different cards, so let me show you this one first. So you can see that this owl is just absolutely striking. And the striking comes from not only the imagery, but the way that she has used it. So that's nice. Now we're going back to silver. So we've done silver and gold. Now we're going to do silver and gold in the apertures. This is silver. And it is this one, just like this, same 2 images, same 2 designs. So we're going to take this one, pop out the center, and attach that with the first image of the owl is glued to the back of it, and then it's going to go onto our card. Now, just like the other cards, this one has been made out of black cardstock. This was the earlier one. So remember that big package of black. And let me get a piece of white behind this. There you go. Now you can really see it. So you're going to do the same thing and make this card again out of the black cardstock. And that's going to be very striking, isn't it? So you will again take this first piece, glue it to the back of that evacuated frame, and glue it to the front of your card. Then she's done several layers. So the first one is going to be removing this background. So it's going to be the feathers that are there. And then that is going to get foam taped on top. Okay, so it's on top of the artwork, but on top of the frame also. Then she just did the owl. So just the body of the owl and those feather pieces. And then the last one is just the face. So each of those is foam taped over the matching art. And that just does a nice, nice job. The word celebrate is going to come from, well, in the last one we used the brown greetings. This time we're going to use the black greetings. Same deal, you get 3 sheets, lots of words. Now on the inside of this card, she has gone with another couple of things are going on here. So this is that raven or crow, I think this is a raven, and it is matted on silver. Now this is the silver cardstock, and you're going to get, I think this is 4 pieces, 3 pieces that come together. So it's matted on the silver, but notice it only has borders at the top and the left side. Then that was glued to the base and the right side of the card. So just snuggle it right in there. And hopefully you can see Best Wishes is down there. And then the heart is over the eye. Almost looks like he has spectacles, doesn't it? Then she did something different, is that she put the piece that was popped out of it and put it on the inside of the card. And congrats and hooray are there also. So we've got Best Wishes, congrats and hooray, and celebrate. So all of those are working together quite nicely. Okay, one more card, and this is going to also be out of the Brilliant Birds. And here it is. Now this one has the gold apertures, and this time she's using the white. So in all of these, she's used pretty neutral colors, but I want to point out that all those colors are in the package. So you can see the purple there. There's a pink, green, a light blue, kind of a teal. So lots of options. But this time she's used the circle and this the gold and the white. So and the circle. Okay, all of those. Got it. Same thing. You're going to remove that center area. And you're going, this is the one that she used. Now, did something different with this. In this case, she has cut it out, you can see 3 times, but to create this background, if she had glued this in place, she would have an odd bird somewhere, and there isn't enough of the background for it to be there or it to be there. So what she did is, in popping out the center area, she took pieces of this and cut it out and glued it to the back of the aperture. Okay, so let me just, if you can see this, so looks like there's one big piece here, there's another piece here, I can see a cut line, but because they're all blue, it's just working nicely. Now, when you've got all of those blue areas cut away, then you've got birds that you can just trim each one out. So you want 3, and you can see how they're layered. So there's the one at the top that is foam taped and is soaring over that card. The next one is a little bit above the middle, and then the last one is kind of tipped a little bit going that way. So I think that's really an interesting idea to have. And of course, those apertures just really make it nice. Now, for the inside, oh, let me just stop right here. Faith, hope, and wisdom are right there. And this came, and I know you can't see, but it came out of the Petite Dazzles. Now, this is one that we had years and years ago, but we revised it. And in this package, there are 4 sheets, black, white, gold, and silver. And there are tons of small embellishments and small words. So faith, hope, and wisdom are just 3 of them. Then on the inside of this card, there is the actual piece. And this has been matted on the same gold metallic sheet. Remember that I showed you? in the second card. There it is. You could use gold cardstock if you wanted, either one. And sorry about that. This has been matted onto that gold at about 1/4 of an inch of borders, glued straight in. And this is what I was talking about in the Petite Dazzle. So you've got swirls, you've got some icons, you've got more words, and those were just placed right down at the bottom. So that finishes our selection. So you do have, I think, some other ideas on how to use these. So we've got our brilliant bird right there, and we have our spectacular scenery and our butterfly blooms. So it's really butterflies and blooms. And then these amazing apertures that just do so much. Now, as I said, they are designed to go with the little books. However, I believe that you will find these very useful in your regular card making or scrapbooking or junk journaling because of all the colors and all the variety. So we have all of these together, just a lot of neat stuff. They are all together in a money saver over on the right-hand side of our screen, of course. And Heidi has written her instructions. They're down below. Just go to see the cards, click on them, and you'll see the instructions and the supply list. So that's great. If you are watching us on YouTube, we'd love it if you would please hit that you like us and then head on over to paperwishes.com because that's where you can get the money saver and get all of the instructions for these wonderful cards. Okay. So that's what we have today, just a lot of fun things to do and some, I think, new techniques. I want to thank Heidi for doing such a wonderful job. Most of all, I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. I'll see you actually tomorrow. Bye-bye.